Okay, you know what? I want you to think about your future at this company. I want you to think about it long and hard.
That's what she said.
Don't you dare.
Marvel Rivals has a problem, and a big one at that. In my last video on Rivals, I detailed how many of the characters are overpowered, which makes the game feel unique, fresh, and more accessible to a casual audience. However, its greatest strength is also its greatest weakness. The time to kill is way too long, and team fights take the same amount of time for plate tectonics to shift.
James wasn't best pleased with his lap time.
12 minutes.
Oh, get lost.
It was.
It's the slowest lap in Top Gear's history.
Since almost all characters have one or more abilities to evade, escape, or resist damage, it feels borderline impossible to pick off or burst down even low HP heroes. Duelists would have multiple movement abilities to get out of the way, and Vanguards have way too much durability and ways to resist damage. However, this isn't really the crux of the problem. Duelists and Vanguards having abilities to evade elimination isn't really the main problem, it's the supports. And the two main issues they have that seal the deal with Rivals and its immortal cast. They provide enormous heals, and their ultimates can be charged up ridiculously fast and can stop most offensive ultimates in the game. Look at this clip with Rocket.
Beware, an enemy!
I made fun of her, but she was
All I did was hold down right click for a few seconds, and I've already almost got my ultimate, and that's due to the relatively high amount of heals and the fact that Rocket provides AoE heals to his team. Generally, AoE damage and damaging multiple enemies gives more ult charge than solo damage. However, it can be challenging to land on numerous enemies in one attack, as they would be evading your abilities. In contrast, your team would stay still to receive a heal, so being able to heal multiple team members would be easy. This in turn would increase the ultimate charge. In fact, in this game with Rocket, I was able to get my CYA 7 times. Going back to the ultimates, despite their differences, many of them share a common trait, an AoE heal that makes your team unkillable. Luna Snow, Invisible Woman, Mantis, Cloak and Dagger, and to a lesser extent, Loki and Rocket have different ults but provide such a high level of heals for an extended period of time that the game comes to a complete standstill. If the enemy is using a defensive ult, there's not much you can do. You can't push the payload and you can't capture the objective, so the best thing you can do is stall and gain some ult charge. This further reinforces the cycle of no one dying, as the ults are not only powerful but can be easily charged. A good strategist can get his ult twice before a duelist can get one. The supports in the game get to have their cake and eat it too. Their ults are arguably the best in the game, and they come around the quickest. This further makes everyone unkillable, as a strategist would save their ult for when the enemy uses an offensive ult, so they can't get any kills. One defensive ult provides enough healing that they don't need to be stacked. With some coordination, you can trigger the second defensive ult right after the first one ends, making your team unkillable for 20 seconds and maybe even longer than that. All of this, the heals, the frequency of ults, and the strength of ults leaves the gameplay loop stagnant. It makes it incredibly difficult to kill someone even with characters who are good at bursting down and providing high DPS. The main way you can work around it is through ults that offer a high single burst of damage over a continuous stream. Iron Man, Scarlet Witch, Magneto, Hawkeye, and Moon Knight do provide a single burst of damage that powers through some defensive ults. In addition, Punisher's ultimate does a lot of damage, and I've had a few instances of Star-Lord's ult being combined with Rocket's ult to do enough damage to damage through a defensive ult. So, how do we solve this? How do we solve that everyone is as unkillable as the Toyota Hilux? The developers could tone down the base healing of strategists, increase their ultimate charge, and reduce the length and healing levels of the defensive ults. However, this could run into the problem of conflicting with Rival's design philosophy. So what's the solution?
Eliminate this target. Bombs away. Anna, Reporting for duty.
That's it. The game needs one or more ways to reduce and negate healing. They can use a AoE heal, like Anna's grenade, a weapon that stops healing if enough damage is done, or possibly an ability where you can target one hero and prevent them from receiving heals for a short time. But until then, continue to see heroes live till the end of time. This is Zach, not Zach, signing off. Please remember to like, favorite, and subscribe.